Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. As some of you are no doubt aware, Barry Morphew appeared in court once again, but this time in a Cannon City courtroom instead of Chaffee County. And it does seem as though the defense have been scoring hit after hit, win after win in terms of the prosecution. Although the court did decline to grant the defense's request that the trial be held completely outside the 11th Judicial District altogether. And I believe the 11th Judicial District is the same district in which Patrick Frazier's trial was heard. Sorry, my microphone was showing in a different direction. But and so it's, for me, not really surprising that we have a similar result. There is no press or cameras allowed in the courtroom. I don't think that has got anything to do with a journalist. I think that is because of the sort of sensitivity and the not only the high profile nature of this case, but also the defense team are sort of taking no prisoners. And so the court is trying to be cautious in terms of how the case is heard, not wanting to jeopardize the trial. And we have heard a request to have charges dismissed or lessened, and it is obviously the court that is trying to make sure that the trial actually goes ahead. And for that to happen, you've got to kind of satisfy the defense that it's going to be a fair trial. Does that make sense? So we haven't heard tweets from the court because that has not been allowed. But what we have heard is that there have been some statements made by Sheila Oliver, is that the neighbor, who made certain statements. These are regarded now as hearsay. The prosecution may not refer to that. I think the defense have also asked for the handing over of the iCloud data as well as the contents of Suzanne's Range Rover. The system, the electrical system, all that sort of information needs to be handed over. In this episode, we're going to deal with something I haven't dealt with before, which is Suzanne Morphew's text. And what is quite interesting is what is absent, the period of time where there's a gap, where there's a hole in the phone data review. And if you sort of examine it critically, you'll notice that there aren't really any texts with Jeff Libler in them. And I think there's a reason for that. I think that he specifically asked for protection, perhaps for privacy. And so those texts, that narrative, which sort of runs right around the circumstances of Suzanne's disappearance, that is missing from the phone data review. In any event, we're going to deal with the text that we do have. But before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started. So among the more bizarre statements Barry Morphew has made was that on May 9th, the day before Suzanne disappeared, Barry shot 85 chipmunks in his backyard. That was Barry's explanation for his erratic movements around the time of Suzanne's disappearance. Taken at face value, 85 chipmunks in the backyard suggests a frenzy of activity in the back garden. Bear in mind, Barry's sort of acknowledged that was taking place. And so think about it. Barry could have said that he shot 5 chipmunks or 8 or 18. What happened to all those chipmunks? Barry also told the agent that the next morning when he headed to Broomfield, he made multiple trash runs and disposed of tranquilizer material during this process, as well as changing his shirts. According to the Daily Mail, the Morphew text revealed that both Suzanne and Barry kept secrets, and this is a quote from the article. As 2 days of testimony have shown, both Barry and Suzanne kept secrets. The article then goes on to note that Barry visited a cheating website, more than one, and what he saw there, and so on and so on. And so I'm not really going to go into that, but we are going to now deal with the text messages in chronological order. They start at People's Exhibit number 3 on September 1. It's a Sunday in, I think it was 2019. And so she said to somebody, I'm not quite sure who it was. She's saying, need your prayers for peace today. How is your kidney pain? Better? And then the response, okay, sweet friend, we'll pray for peace. And then talks about with health or relationships. And then Suzanne responds, relationships. He pulled Macy in again and left. My heart hurts for her. The response to that, those are such hurtful ways to help himself feel better. I'll pray for Macy too. That is heavy stuff for a 16-year-old girl. Have you spoken with the girls privately at all about this? Not at a deep level, but open the door for them to ask you questions. It's such a hard subject, I know. And then she responds, speaking about Barry, he's not stable. It's guilt and desperate measures he's taking. Yes, she knows more than she should. My heart is aching for what he did today. She and I had a peaceful, fun week. He came in and wrecked it and left making her feel bad for him. It's sick. He looks for any reason to run. It can be small and he blows up and takes off. I believe there's another, I think what she means by that, where she says, I believe there's still another, meaning I believe there's still somebody else. I'm assuming that is what he's referring to. Then she says, I can't win with him. He's too good at the manipulation. I feel stuck. I can't let my health decline again. Then the answer to this, the response is, did he just get home from his trip? Probably feels guilty from missing her birthday. This way he can manipulate it into a situation where he doesn't look like the bad guy, but a victim again. And so there's the suggestion here that he plays the victim. Suzanne just responds with the word yep. Does he ever do anything wrong? Suzanne responds, he was gone from Tuesday until last night and called yesterday and said he was injured again with his leg and coming home. Yesterday was supposed to be the first day of season. It was all so strange. I'm not sure if she means hunting season. Then she goes on to say, he kept telling me his phone is going to be off because he didn't have enough battery again. So that seems to have been a regular excuse for why he wouldn't be in touch at certain times. And we're still on People's Exhibit page 5 now. The response to that is really weird. I'm so glad you and Macy had a good week. I'm sure she can feel the difference when he is there too. Then Suzanne responds, and this is People's Exhibit 6, almost to clear his conscience. You can look me in the eye the whole time. He couldn't. Same this morning when he told me his stories, no eye contact. So there's obviously not trust. She goes on to say, I can't handle the unstableness. The day he cut his leg, he accused me of wanting to go back to town to get his meds and talk to someone. I came back with, I can't question you about another, but you can me. And so that seems once again to be a reference to an affair. She doesn't actually mention it, but she says, I responded with, I can't question you about somebody else, but you can me. He literally opened his door while I was driving up the mountain like he was going to jump. So while they're driving, he actually opened his door. She says, his usual tactic when I bring up another. Then he pulled girls in and told them everything that day. I lost all respect for him that day. Then we go into the next page, People's Exhibit 7. It starts, if he doesn't get everything, I don't think he sees it that way, though. I would be interested to hear his conversations with the girls. Then Suzanne responds, Macy mentioned us separating today or divorcing. She wants us happy. She's tired of the tension. She said she should just go to Gunnison and live with Mel. My heart broke to hear her. He plays the hurt one. So it seems as though he's playing the sympathy card with his daughters. Then the response, does he have enough balls to talk to them with you there? She responds, says he loves me and can't handle the pain from me not giving him love. Not giving him love, the love he needs. Doesn't mention all the damage he's done to me, physically, mentally. Now, that's quite an interesting comment given what the judges just said now about not allowing what Sheila Oliver said. What do you think it means when Suzanne says, doesn't mention all the damage he's done to me, physical and mental? Anyway, the response to that is, makes me sad that Macy has to put in that situation, as I think it just means that she's put in that situation. How do you feel about separating from him? Suzanne responds, he sat there as a ringleader the day he cut himself and told them all the things I believe and got them all upset and was just sitting back and egging on, as if he felt justified and happy they were taking his side. It was sickening. I told them I was hurting for 2 years and they never knew, because that's what parents should do. So there you kind of get an insight into Suzanne, that she's been holding back quite a lot. She hasn't been telling her daughters exactly what has been going on in their marriage. And think about how that is possibly, if it's true, been to Barry's advantage. Has Barry told them what he's been through? Anyway, so she goes on to say, I feel no peace when he's here. And then the next part is sort of missing, something about something safe around him. He's lost my trust. He will do anything to come out looking good. So it's quite unfortunate that part is missing, because it does go to this idea of, was Suzanne safe around her husband? If she didn't feel safe around him, why? Why would she say that? And then she goes on to say, it makes me someone I don't like. I'm sorry, I just feel lost today. This is the lowest I've felt. I hate burdening. So that's People's Exhibit 8. There's some part missing there, but anyway, it's something about living like this. And then she goes on to say, I think when I press about there being another, he's resorted to this extreme behavior to scare me so that I won't bring it up again. So there seems to be this kind of almost intimidation tactic. And then the response there, I'm sure, with an exclamation mark. Suzanne goes on to say, I wanted to try to make it work until Macy was on her own. I wouldn't feel safe alone with him. Well, there you have it in black and white. Why would she say that? She goes on to say, I don't see how I can get over the damage done. I feel numb. I told him I'm not sure what that means. And he said, okay, we'll just tell the girls I'm leaving and how you feel and you don't want me. I sound so terrible, I'm sorry. I know I've done things to hurt us too. Many things. Like I said, it's made me someone I don't like, I don't want to be. And then the response, and this is People's Exhibit number 10. He has pushed you so far. This is terrible, but I would manipulate him right back and say, fine, let's go tell them. I've been recording all the things you've said and done to me in private. Let's see how they feel after they see all of that. Call his bluff. Makes me so sad, mad, frustrates, not sure that is the right thing, but I would be over it. So she is actually talking Suzanne into recording the things he's doing so that she's got something to back herself up. One wonders what the spy pen was for. Was it for a lawyer? Was it for her daughters? What was the reason for that? Then she responds, they know he's hurt me. I believe Macy probably understands and then the next part's cut off. Oh, there it is. I believe Macy probably understands the most what it's done to me. Mel just wants the old us back. Now we're on page 11, People's Exhibit 11. Macy said today she loves us both and wants us both happy. Her friend Hannah's divorced parents and seems happy. They get along well like my mom and dad did after they split. And I think it's quite interesting how you sometimes, obviously divorce is an unknown area for a lot of people. But then you look at people that you know around you and see how they've come out of it. And that may have an impact parents that you've had, or your partner's parents, or friends' parents, in whether you're going to take that path. Then she goes on to say, not sure B could take that high road though. Quite an interesting point there if you think about where we are now. The response, it will eventually be shown to all when he doesn't take the high road. I think you have to think about long-term health here. I really do. I think that was quite interesting advice there. Then she also says, love you so much, sweet friend. Just want to be there to hug you. Then Suzanne's response, I told Macy that today about guarding my health, and she said, Mom, why don't you divorce then? It broke my heart, but it's true. Thank you for being here. I'd be lost without you. I know I sound so one-sided. I've done my share of damage. I just want peace. The response to that is on People's Exhibit number 12. I'm not sure Barry would, and then it sort of cuts off. Goes on to say, went from sad yesterday, this is September 2nd, 2019, went from sad yesterday to mad today. Typical for me once I think things through. No accountability on where he is and phone off. At least it's peaceful. The response, that is good at least. How was he last night when he came back? Suzanne responds, he never came back. Says he's staying out till Friday. He has a job outside Denver that starts next Monday. He will come back to prepare for that, I guess. The response to that, I thought he just left for a bit, like a cool down. Didn't know he left for the week. Suzanne responds, it's so messed up. He says his leg is re-injured, but he's on a mountaintop. I think he was looking for a reason to leave yesterday. Can't worry about it. He's unstable and double-minded in all his ways. The response to that, yeah, that's what I was thinking. How can he do that with a hurt leg? Suzanne responds, told Macy he was too hurt to stay and got a pity before he left. I think she means that Barry told Macy he was too hurt to stay. Sounds like emotionally hurt, and then got her to sympathize with him before he left. Then Suzanne goes on to say, the response to that is, you've been so strong and so patient with him for so many years. And then she refers to her friend by name now. Oh, Sheila, thank you. So these are who the texts are directed towards. And then the response is from Sheila is, it's the truth. Not sure I know a single person who could do it. Suzanne responds, I was thinking this morning how long I think it should be put up with disappointments and just feel I'm to the end. Kind of like my mom. She had a long fuse, but once she made a decision, it was firm. And now we're on Defense Exhibit page 13. Sheila responds, you were at your end before you moved and gave him another chance to start fresh. I don't think he'll change. Suzanne responds, I know. Sheila says, the older he gets, I think it will get worse, the instability. Suzanne says, I was thinking of my Kokomo talks with you and how broken I was. Sheila responds, I would press forward thinking about a job you would enjoy and how you can live a happy and healthy life and make some what-if plans. Suzanne responds, yes, I have been thinking that way. I need peace. It's scary how good that sounds. Sheila says, fast forward and think about life worth. I'm not quite sure what she means. Life worth him, probably life with him the next several years if it doesn't change. Suzanne responds, once Macy's gone, I won't be able to do it. I won't feel safe. I've tried to hold her, so that's another reference to her not feeling safe. She says, I have tried to hold on for her, but she's weary of it and asking why we don't separate. And then Sheila says, it may take some time to plan and get through all of it. I don't think it will be an easy road with him, but once you see through it, I feel it will be so much better. Then the response, I sort of wish he would just get fed up with me and leave. And now we're on to People's Exhibit 14. And so Suzanne says, does that sound bad? Being apart, Sheila responds, being apart may be more of a blessing for Macy, and then she doesn't have to worry all the time. Suzanne says, I know, I feel so bad for her. Sheila says, no, but you know he wants to look good. So Suzanne responds, yep, he wants me to be the bad guy. Sheila responds, well, it means peace for you and the girls. You may have to... Suzanne responds, yes, and then something about, does he control all the financial stuff? I worry he's been sick piling in case of this happening. And so Suzanne responds, I'm sure he has. It's a tangled web. I can't worry about that part. I've decided peace is worth more. So she's actually not thinking about the finances or worrying about them. Now we're on People's Exhibit page 15, and Sheila says, just want to make sure you don't struggle financially. And Suzanne responds, I'd live in a shack right now. I'm sure you won't make it easy. He has always wanted control. And then Sheila responds, the Lord will take care of your needs. You've been so faithful. Now it's time to let him carry you. Suzanne responds, I can't do anything until we get our full payment for the house. That's quite an interesting point there. That's how she feels. I can't do anything until we get our full payment for the house. She says, maybe January. Dan goes on saying, yes, I really want to talk to my sister about it. When she and John split, it was tough, but I'm sure she would have some advice. And we do know that there was an interesting text, I think on the night that she disappeared. Anyway, Sheila responds, yes, that's what I was going to say. Find someone that can advise you and help you through all the loops. Suzanne responds, she's been able to make it on the inheritance money from Mom and Helen. Sheila responds, that is good. Can you do that, or does he have control of that too? And then she responds, B said he would pay all that back to me. Who knows? We used it to pay for this house, and his bad decisions in silver, that's a whole other story. Very strange. He's held onto it for years, even when we were losing bank. I feel he's supporting someone else. And then Sheila says, yikes, that is scary. And so I'm not going to take it further than that. If there's enough interest in this video, I'll be doing a part 2 dealing with 16 to, I think it ends at 26. So the next 10 pages of text. I put up a video recently dealing with Van Gogh. I'm doing a series on that. If that is your cup of tea, check it out. It's a live I'm doing every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you've never watched one of those episodes, give it a go and see if you'd like to participate, become a member, and join the discussion. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.